Hi beauty bosses, and welcome back to PR Decoded, where I, Jo Jones, decode the art and science of PR and brand building so that you can take my knowledge and expertise and put it into action in your own business. Now today we are going to talk about hashtags. Hashtags are probably one of the most overlooked ways that brands can really help drive their brand awareness, drive their sales, just get discovered really. And not many people, I would argue not many of you, are actually utilising hashtags as much as you should be, and therefore are missing out on growth opportunities. Now I know I'd say about a year ago, I started to implement an Instagram strategy before, and I'd listened to a podcast where they'd talked about it, and I did accidentally stumbled across it, which I will link into the show notes below. And I was like, oh my God, I'm missing a big trick. I'm really missing a big trick. Doesn't take that long. Once I understood the power of hashtags, it became second nature to me to just utilise, to create a really simple strategy and to make sure that I put it into practice every single time that I post on Instagram. I'm specifically talking about Instagram in this video. So let's dive in. I'm going to give you my top tips, and after this you are going to go off and put your Instagram strategy into place and then let me know exactly how it goes and how successful it's been, because I guarantee you will see results. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, please, because it encourages me to keep going on and creating lots of content like this, knowing that people want it. So I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe, because if you don't, it will make me very sad. Let's dive into hashtags. The thing you need to know about hashtags off the bat is that they are a really powerful part of Instagram's algorithm, and they could really propel you and your brand ahead. You know, like sometimes you get stuck on a bit of a plateau with Instagram. You get a couple of new followers and you lose more or less the same amount. We all lose followers every single day. None of us are necessarily doing anything wrong. It's just, you know, sometimes you go in and, why am I following this person? You know, they're kind of cool, but like not really interested anymore. Or you started following someone and you can't remember why, and then you just sort of clear them out. Anyway, the thing to remember is that hashtags are very valued by Instagram, right? They are and they can propel your, I think they can propel your effectiveness of your posts if used with a strategy, which we'll talk about in a second, by about 40%. Now that's nothing to be sniffed at, is it? You know, we all want to be able to get to that point where, you know, we get to 10,000 followers and we can, you know, do the swipe up and all of that kind of stuff, which I can't do with beautybeatcoms at the moment because I don't have 10,000, but I am committed to getting there. But I've grown an audience pretty quickly with BeautyBeat of about 2,500 within the last couple of months, and I've noticed the more active that I am, the more that I post every day, and when I which I do every day, the more stories that I upload, which I need to do because that's the bit that I'm a bit slow on that channel because I manage 3 Instagram accounts. When I started implementing the Instagram strategy, the hashtag strategy, even, I noticed a spike and an uplift, and so it's just, you know, incredibly effective. Now, before you start thinking about you know, hashtags, how many should I use, where should they go, and all of those kind of things, really think about how you use hashtags, right? Do you search for hashtags? Because I do search with hashtags, and a lot of people do as well. Also, I follow hashtags. So often I'm exposed to accounts that I didn't know existed because I follow hashtags. So for instance, I follow the hashtag of hygiene poverty because I run a charity called Beauty Banks, and we look after people and support people who live with hygiene poverty. And so I get a lot of information that I wouldn't from charities, from organisations, from groups, from media, from whoever who are using that hashtag, and it allows me to stay part of that conversation. So definitely when you're thinking about hashtags, don't just think about it as a way of just ending a post, thinking about it as a real true discovery mechanism. When it comes to, I think it's about 30 Instagram, I keep saying it around the wrong way. I think it's about 30 hashtags that you are permitted by Instagram to use per post. you need to be using, I'd say, about 27. You want to fly just under that radar, right? And before you say, oh, 27, it's so ugly, I feel exactly the same thing. But I do put 27 hashtags after each of my posts, because that is 27 different ways to become discovered and to reach new people. If it's 26, you've missed out on one other person that could be following you, or 10 other people, or whatever. So what I do is I sort of categorize my hashtags. So I've got my premium, like my absolute top hashtags, and then I've got the ones that are sort of, the bankers, if you like, my second tier, and then my third tier have to be unique and authentic to that post. So stuff that I haven't, hashtags that maybe I haven't necessarily posted before, but are very unique and applicable to what I've just posted. So if I don't necessarily have hashtag skincare as any of my medium sort of second tier posts, but if I'm writing about skincare, I'll add it in, and it will go into my sort of, bespoke sort of pillar. So you've got your primary. So I would choose about 3 to 5 primary. These are the absolute non-negotiables that have to go in every single post, right? You want that consistency there, and so really think about what your 5 top key messages are. So for instance, with, let's say, beauty banks, because it's charity and it's top of mind and I've been working on it all day today, I would put hashtag beauty banks, hashtag hygiene poverty, hashtag unfair Britain, because that's one of my top hashtags. And then I would do, what's my other top one? UK poverty, right? And then in my middle, I would have my 20 or so. I would have hashtag food banks, hashtag homeless shelters, hashtag Hestia, which is a charity that we work with, hashtag working poor. So I would sort of have this whole other bank of 20 other hashtags, and then I will have 3 others that would be related to the post, 3 or 4 others. So roughly about 27 per post. And I would, with my primary 3, 4, 5, those hashtags go in with my caption. So I write my caption and then I put in 3 to 4 hashtags. If you don't put in any hashtags, it looks really weird, right? If you don't put any, it looks like something's missing. So you definitely want to be putting at least 2 or 3 in that caption. And then what I do is I paste the rest, so my second and third tier, within the comment, the very first comment of my post. So your caption and your feed doesn't look cluttered, it doesn't look ugly, it doesn't look sort of desperate. I think a lot of people are really worried that using all those hashtags make you look really desperate, like some big social climber or something like that. But yours is strategic, right? It's there for strategic purposes. Now, when, what you don't want to be doing is being like every single post typing in 30 hashtags. You're just never going to do it, right? It's just never going to happen. So what I do is I create, I write all my hashtags down on a, document or whatever, and then I copy them, I paste them onto the notes app on my phone, and then when I do my post, I just highlight it and paste it. It's as simple as that. It takes 30 seconds, but it makes you so much more discoverable. So do it. Use at least 27, and yes, I mean 27, because if you use less, you will be discovered less, and it's there for you, it's free. Use it. Okay, so if you're looking for some inspiration of what hashtags you should be using, there are several platforms and companies that like hashtagged, and there's one called Flick. I'll drop all the details in below, that will serve you up the hashtags that are trending at the moment. What I would suggest that you do, which will give you lots of inspiration, there might be some things in there that you hadn't necessarily thought of. Another way is to look at your competitors and look what hashtags they're using. Can you piggyback on any of those? Are there any celebrities that you you're following, or you admire, or you think that are right for your brand, that are using specific hashtags? It's all out there, it's all discoverable. You just need to do a little bit of homework. What I would say is try to avoid using hashtags that are massive, right? So if, for instance, a hashtag like hashtag beauty, if you're in the beauty space, which we are, right, don't do hashtag beauty. There are probably like 100 billion million. You're never going to stand out. You want to create something that isn't, that has some traction and is, has numbers and million or whatever is fine, but try and find ones that are a bit less and a bit niche, and that will give you an opportunity to stand out. So things like Clean Beauty 2020 might be better than just Clean Beauty. It might give you an opportunity to get discovered more, because as I said earlier, like Instagram really values the use of hashtags, and it will serve you up content that it knows that you like and that you respond to. And that's where hashtags can become even more valuable, because Instagram is using them to help show you what it thinks that you might like to see. Okay, be very mindful that there are certain hashtags that really do wave red flags, and there are certainly lots of banned ones. So try and find out, if you're not sure, just Google banned hashtags, and it will give you a list of the latest ones that that Instagram absolutely hates, because what could happen is that your account could end up getting shut down. Like things like hashtag vape life, I think, was the last one I looked at. Not that I've ever vaped in my life, but they kind of like, there's certain things that Instagram frowns upon, and that could really be quite detrimental to your business. So just make sure that you're aware of that. Okay, so very simple strategy for Instagram and is now hashtags. You're going to do at least 27 per post. You're going to research the hashtags first rather than just chucking anything in there. Go and have a look at what posts that you've done in the past that have ranked the highest. Did they have any hashtags associated with them? Because if they did, then definitely replicate those. Look at what your competitors are doing. Make sure that you post the bulk of your 20, I would say about 24 in your 25 in your not in your caption, sorry, in your first comment, and the rest into your caption. Your primary hashtags have to go into your caption, and then start, if you aren't already, following hashtags, because then you will really understand the power of how they help you to be discovered. Okay, get going with your Instagram strategy. I keep saying Instagram rather than hashtags. Hashtag me in if you would like. Hashtag Joe Jones, hashtag BeautyBeatComs, and then I will be able to discover you. Please subscribe, and I'll be here next week with lots more fun, and I hope insightful tips and tricks to help you master your PR and brand building strategy. See you next time.